Okay, so a few things about the syllabus. Obviously, you can see here at the top we've got contact information with my office phone number where you can leave a message, my office hours, and then my teaching hours. Um, I won't read everything to you. Obviously, you can point out some of the highlights, but you can read through the course overview and objectives and look at the learning outcomes, kind of the things that you should be able to do upon concluding this course. The required reading is the James book, Crisis Intervention Strategies, which is a change from previous semesters. You can get a paper copy, or you can also get an electronic copy. Since this is an online course, you might prefer that. I don't know. Fully online course. We'll be using the Blackboard interface this semester, and primarily using lectures like this, video lectures posted to the discussion board, and then also using discussion boards for other communication where, as we'll see in a minute, you'll have an assignment related to discussion postings. And I'll give you some other information as well. In addition to stuff about the chapters, I'll post other videos with information that will be helpful to you in completing the course. And then also there are chat rooms in Blackboard that you'll use to complete some of the assignments, which we'll see below. And I'll also use for my virtual office hours. Okay, you can read through all the tech requirements. Uh, Blackboard is a little buggy and has some weird things. So if you haven't used it before, spend some time playing around with it and make sure the computer you're going to be using primarily is set up to interface with Blackboard appropriately. I know for me when I use Firefox, some of the things don't run. The videos don't play for me on Firefox. I have to open up Internet Explorer for that. You can read those other policies and whatnot. We have a new tutoring service. You can read about that. Library services. One little thing that at the bottom of that is I will post a video lecture later giving you some advice, some tips on how to look for articles when doing research for your research paper and just in general in your graduate work. But on to the stuff that you really probably want to know about. The assignments. So the first thing, we'll have regular discussion postings where in the lecture videos like this one, at the end of the video or throughout the video, I'll kind of pose discussion questions to you, and at the end of the video I'll summarize all the questions that I want you to respond to. Excuse me. And they'll be about what I've talked about in the video and also about or about the assigned reading. So the videos should be posted by Monday of the week that they're scheduled, and you have till that following Sunday, 11:59 p.m. To make your responses to the questions I ask. And you're not required to reply to other people's postings, but you're welcome to look at other people's stuff and reply to them with comments or further questions you have if you wish. So let's jump down for a minute here to the calendar. We can see, so we won't have any discussion questions this week. We're just talking about the syllabus, kind of course overview. But next week, we're going to talk about Chapter 1, kind of Introduction to Crisis Intervention. I'll post some discussion questions in that lecture video, which will be due by the 11th, right? The following week. It'll be due right before that Monday, so we'll be due by the 11th, just before midnight. Okay, and that'll be pretty much an every week thing. Similarly, quizzes, which we'll get to in a minute, will be every week. And this week you do have a quiz, even though we don't have reading. Your reading is the syllabus. We've got a brief little syllabus quiz that you'll see on Blackboard that you should complete by the 4th at just before midnight. Okay, so back up here. So discussion postings be pretty straightforward. And I'll put up a rubric this week with more details about how you'll be evaluated on those. And then the role plays, one of the other big assignments in this class, to give you some practice. And it is always challenging on online courses whenever we try to do teach intervention skills, so we have to kind of get creative. But you're going to do some role plays, 4 in which you'll play a healthcare provider doing crisis intervention, and then you also play the role of a person in crisis for your classmates to be the interventionists in 3 other ones. So, we're going to use the chat function for 6 of the role plays. So three times you're going to be a crisis intervention specialist chatting with someone who's in crisis. And someone in crisis will be one of your classmates, and I'll assign them a crisis to act out. And you'll have to go through what you would do helping that person in that moment. And I'll give you, as we get closer to when these things need to be done, we'll talk more about it. I'll give you more details about how that will be evaluated. But you'll meet in a chat room, and each person in the class will have their own chat room. So you can either meet in your chat room or the victim's chat room. Y'all can work it out via email prior to the time you set up to meet, and you just do that role play. Probably take you 30 minutes or so, and then I can. You can't see the transcripts, I don't think, but I can see the transcript of the chat, and I'll look at that to evaluate how you did. And you do 3 of those where you play the worker, and 3 where you play the victim, and then you do 1 in vivo role play, which obviously, since it's an online course, the only way to do that and be graded would be to create a video recording of that role play. So you do 1 live, and you can, if you know somebody in the class who lives in the same town as you and you want to work out to have them be your live partner, that's fine. If you don't know anybody in the class and you just want to get one of your friends or family members and they're kind of savvy enough to play the part of the victim, that's fine too. But you'll do 1 live, and you'll create a video recording of it, and then find a way to get me that video recording. And there are a variety of ways of doing that. Depending if you use kind of digital media, you can upload it to the internet and possibly get it to me, or the simplest thing, you could also always send me the video recording by mail. I've got the mailing address to the department here. To play your video, I can play any kind of CD or DVD or even a VHS tape instead of a VCR, but I don't have a mini DV cam anymore. Although actually I could get one from the department. So yeah, probably any kind of tape you could send me to, I could probably find a way to play. But check with me before you do if you're going to record some sort of video tape to verify that I can play that format and see your video. Okay, so and you'll just do 1 live one, and then the chat ones, you do 6 of those, 3 where you're the assessor, the interventionist, and 3 where you're the victim. Next assignment, resource list. You'll put together a list of 12 resources that could be used for individuals in crisis in this general area. And simplest way to do it is usually in an Excel format. That way it's easy to sort and easy to also compile. And if everybody does it in Excel, then I can cut and paste all of your resources together and then give you back the complete list that everybody put together, and you have this nice list of resources to take with you at the end of class. And you can see basic information that you're going to be asked to include, contact information, what services they provide, what consumers they serve, and if there's any cost associated with those services. And then the other big assignment would be the research paper, 10 to 12 page APA style paper, and 10 to 12 pages. That doesn't include the title page or the references. People always ask that. No, it doesn't include an abstract. And for a literature review type research paper, for my class, you don't have to have an abstract. It seems a little redundant to me. But it'll be about the effectiveness, efficacy of crisis intervention. And you can just write a paper on, looking at the research to look at, is crisis intervention effective? And that's a very broad topic. And you can go that way, or you can narrow it. And you can narrow it in terms of, okay, is crisis intervention effective in this area? Like, is it effective for people that are recently diagnosed with a terminal illness? Or is it effective in natural disasters? Is it effective for victims of partner violence? You can focus on some issue, or you can focus, if you want to focus, you can focus on some particular technique like critical incident stress debriefing, right? Or EMDR, or whatever else. So it can be as focused as you want, but the paper in general should be looking at, is crisis intervention effective, and what's the evidence that it is? Okay. To kind of help you with that, one of the things that I'll have is I'll create a discussion thread labeled research articles. where people can post information about articles that they found. So you can post articles to it, and then you can also look at other people found articles and say, oh, that looks like a good one. I'll look that one up too. And you don't have to do it, but people that post 5 or more articles that nobody else has posted yet get 5 bonus points on the research paper for doing so. But they have to be 5 good articles. And by good articles, I mean articles in peer-reviewed journals. Not stuff from USA Today or Time Magazine. Either original research, where we're reporting the results, or it could be a theoretical article, possibly, or it could be a review article. But something scientific, not something crappish. And you need to obviously post enough information there that people can find the article, and then also a little bit about what the article is about, so they know whether or not it would be helpful to them. Okay. And I'll have more videos and stuff about the research paper as we get closer to that being due. But be thinking about what you might want to write your paper on. Now, in an alternate assignment, if you have the time, the inclination, and the opportunity to do volunteer work and aren't interested in writing a research paper, you can do this alternate assignment, which is doing 20 hours of volunteer work in some sort of crisis intervention agency, and then writing a brief 2 to 4 page paper reflecting on your experiences. But the catch is this volunteer work has to be really truly volunteer, not something you would have done otherwise. So it can't be something you're doing for practicum or internship. It can't be your job where you're getting paid, or if you're it's part of your parole agreement, perhaps. It doesn't count. It has to be something you wouldn't have done otherwise, and you go out of your way to do this experience. 20 hours. And that 20 hours could be, over, a couple of weekends, could be over the whole semester. But it has to be something you wouldn't have done otherwise. And I also have to approve of your experience before you do it. So you don't just go sign up for something and start volunteering, and then you come to me and I say, oh no, that doesn't count. So check with me first. Email, give me a call, whatever. If you're interested in doing that instead of the research paper, that is an option. Okay. So that's all the assignments. Not too bad. Right? And then the assessments to kind of keep you on pace. We'll have quizzes over the material each week. Obviously a quiz this week over the syllabus. Next week it'll be over Chapter 1's reading. And again, kind of like the discussion posting, those will be made. The quizzes should be turned in by Sunday, just before midnight, the week they're assigned. There'll be multiple choice, true, false. Pretty straightforward, just meant to kind of say, okay, yeah, I read it, I understand it. Here, let me show you, Dr. Fiala, I'm paying attention. And I say, oh, great, I'm glad you're learning. Other than that, we'll have a comprehensive final exam, which will be it'll be available on May 12th by 6 in the evening. You have 3 hours to complete it once you begin. You don't have to begin on May 12th. You have to begin by Wednesday, the 14th, before midnight. But any time in there, you can start it. But once you start, the clock starts ticking. You have 3 hours to complete it. And it'll be a combination of multiple choice and essay, with emphasis on the essay portion, which will be very much applied stuff, kind of, okay, in this situation, what would you do? What should you do based on all the stuff you've learned this semester? Okay. So you can see how that breaks down for the grading, the percentiles of what things are worth. So you should be able to calculate your own grade without my assistance. And then a little note about what grades mean down here. You can see an A is mastery of content. But a lot of times you think, oh, well, I kind of understand it. I've got a pretty good understanding. That's good, right? Well, good, that's fine for some people, but good is average, right? You have an average understanding that an average grade is a C. And a lot of people think, well, no, average is an A. I get mostly A's. Most people I know get A's. Well, that's very above average. And even being just above average doesn't mean you get an A. Right? Having an above average understanding, that's what a B indicates. An A is really something kind of special. It's beyond above average. It's mastery. So kind of keep that in mind as we're going through the course semester, and I'm evaluating your work. And the other thing that I recognize is you may have mastered the content, and you might still not get an A. And that most often happens whenever life kind of tosses and turns and throws you some curveballs during the semester, which seems to happen quite a bit. And that's unfortunate, but I can't grade on a kind of life curve saying, okay, well, I know you would have earned an A, but this kind of horrible thing happened in your life, or you had these stressors, or you got sick, and so you weren't able to study as hard as you wanted to. But I know if you had studied, you would have gotten an A. I can't grade on that kind of way. All I can give you is the grade that you earn, and it may not reflect your full mastery, and that's unfortunate, but that's kind of the nature of the beast. To be fair to everyone, I have to kind of be consistent with my grading and give you a grade that you earn, and not one that I think my impression of what you earned. Okay, so I try to keep it as objective as possible. Okay, late work policy. Having done some online stuff before myself, I know it's easy to kind of put it to the back burner and forget about it, and then at the end, oh my gosh, I got all this stuff to do. I need to turn it in. You can do that, but it's gonna cost you. So for every day that something is late, an assignment or a quiz, 10% reduction in the value. So if it's after 1 day, the best you can get is a 90. After 2 days, best you can get is an 80. But I do kind of stop the bleeding with a maximum reduction of 50%. And I do that because sometimes people just totally, something happens and they lose a week. Right? And then they're like, oh, I might as well not do the assignment. I don't want you to do that. If you lose a week and you can still turn it in. Hey, you're 2 weeks late, you can still turn it in. The most you can get is 50% of what it's worth. But 50% is better than nothing. It's better than a 0. And it will often be the difference between a C and failing the course. So keep that in mind. That even if you miss a deadline, it's not the end of the world. Still do the work, still turn it in. I will grade it, and you'll get some points. Okay. Speaking of giving you points, posting grades, I'll try to get you everything back within a week of the due date. If it's longer, somebody shoot me an email. Not everybody, but somebody, a couple people, shoot me an email and remind me. Sometimes I grade stuff, and then I have to click the little thing in Blackboard showing to show you the grades, and I forget to click the little box. So just remind me if I forget. And you can read through my thoughts about online coursework and about this course in particular, which I do think is an important course for anybody who wishes to work in the mental health field. And then the last part of the syllabus is the one you probably want to print out and have beside your computer, the calendar, where you'll see each week kind of what we'll be going over. So obviously the video for today is the course overview and the syllabus posted this Monday. The quiz due end of the week on Sunday, and then each week I'll post a video, and then the quiz will be due basically at the end of that week. And you can see the assignments, their due dates are here on the calendar. They're not in the body of the syllabus, but they're here on the calendar. The resource list, the first thing due, and then we'll start having role plays due in October. So back here in mid-September, I'll send you a list with pairing you with people. And I don't send it at the beginning of the semester because inevitably I have 2 or 3 people drop and add the course in the first week or two, and I don't have to redo the list. So I'm going to wait a little bit before doing that. See all the role plays, and they're spaced out pretty much every 2 weeks. Research paper or that volunteer assignment at the end, and then a comprehensive final exam. And the last little note here is an important one. Professor reserves the right to amend the syllabus at any time. And I typically don't. Typically I stick with what I say, and if I change it, it's usually to make your lives easier, not harder. But if I do that, if I make an assignment, I say, well, this assignment really seemed to be beyond everybody. I want to make it worth fewer points. I will let you know. But like if everybody fails an exam, I won't punish you by making it worth more. But I potentially could go the other way if I think I screwed something up. Okay, but again, I will let you know anytime that happens. Okay, so I think that's about it for the syllabus. If you have any questions about that, you can email them to me, or you can post them in the discussion tab that's labeled General Questions about the course. Okay, take care.